Well, the Fed admits it 300 billion, but the figure is far higher than that because they're hiding it, and that's why they're terrified that 1207 will become law, the investigation of the Fed, because all of this is going to be exposed. And if the legislation passes early this coming year, by the time the election comes up, all of this is going to be in the media. And if the mainline media keeps it out of the media, that's okay. We're here, and we're going to be telling everybody. And people are listening to us, I promise you. And John knows the rating systems that are going on. I am getting ratings higher than all of these boobs who are making $10 million a year. And they're concerned about that. And all I can tell you is it's a good thing I'm not in the United States.
Well, and the matrix to people, and people have got to understand the concept of this, that we have people that heretofore were rolling in money, rolling in political power. They could do any deal that they damned well pleased to do. And that is their realm, the money. But they forgot one thing, that money, you weren't born into this world with any money in your pockets because you were born buck naked. And you're certainly not going to have any luggage rack on your hearse to take your millions with you. You don't get to do that. So it's all temporal. It's all here and now. How is everybody in this country feeling, aside from the select few that have been clambering up the sides of the pyramid to climb onto the capstone? These people are going to find themselves without the support of their globalist elite buddies very, very quickly. And they're going to find themselves in the real world of which you and I and Robbie and all the listeners to this program have been subjected to. It's going to be a rude awakening for them, for some politician or some bureaucrat to come and steal the lollipop out of their mouths. But it's going to happen. It is going to happen. These people do not believe in fair anything. Competition, business-wise, political, it doesn't matter. They are monopolists. They are egotists. And they are, and here is their downfall, their arrogance. So let them continue with what they're doing.
That's why we just had the false flag terrorist attack. I mean, it's so blatant.
And you're right, Robbie, that's true. And that gentleman worked for MI6, and he was spying for them in the Middle East prior to this assignment.
Well, and let's examine that for a moment here. We have a guy, some Italian, very well-dressed Italian man, was able to get somebody through the TSA checkpoints at an airport with no identification. And
no passport.
No passport, and he vouched for this individual without them,
who paid cash
for
a one-way ticket.
Mystery man.
And by the way, the reason why he probably tried to blow up the airplane was because of the $2,800 ticket that he had to buy to fly out of Guyana.
Yeah, but he had no intention. Look, first of all, Nigerians, even if they are Muslims, don't sacrifice themselves for 70 virgins. I can assure you of that one.
Believe me.
And I know Nigerians very well.
In dingy ditches.
Yeah, I mean, 3 years ago he was writing scam emails for his father. But here you've got a case of, it's very frustrating for me to watch this, because and it's amazing how so many people just simply buy into this BS. But they do.
That's because mentally they're lazy and they want somebody else to do their thinking for it. They want it pre-arranged, pre-digested, and pre-packaged for their stupid consumption. That's all they are.
And the worst are the conservatives. Fox News and Rush Limbaugh and Sean.
Wait a minute. When did we put Fox News in the conservative category? Gentlemen, we got a break. We'll take your phone calls next hour. 800-313-9443. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. 800-313-9443 if you want to call in to today's edition of the National Intel Report. And it is almost the end of the month, the end of the year, and the end of the decade. Almost. We're in a whole lot of trouble here, folks. A whole lot. But we have the thinkers, they got the stinkers. We've got a lot of disenfranchised, a lot of disconnected people out there that they just want their lives back. And we're going to endeavor to see that happens. And folks, please, if call in, don't call in the last half hour of the program because we have too many people and not enough time. If you're going to call into the program, start dialing now, 800-313-9443. There's several issues that must be covered today. And I just want to vet this out for a few more minutes here on the I guess we can call him the crotch bomber now, right? We had the shoe bomber, and now we got the crotch bomber. He crawled on board with some 80 grams of what is called, PETN, and he attempted to blow this up in the aircraft, supposedly to bring it down. Now, having said that, if I am Al Qaeda and I have a network of people with minimal funds, I don't have to blow airplanes up in the air. I've already got access. I've got a uniform. I've got the look-alike credentials. I'm moving about freely in the airport. I'm blowing the whole damn thing up, okay? I'm not going to pick on one little lonely plane. This was an absolute setup. And the new rules, guys, for the last hour of your flight, you cannot have a book in your lap. You can't have blankets, laptops, any electronic devices. You can't spend an inordinate amount, according to the flight attendants, or the new security that's going to be on board, which we're told, the air marshals, all these restrictive things. Now, what happens when they figure an hour isn't enough? Why don't they just board me on the plane, cuff me to my damn seat, strip me down, and throw a blanket on me? This is only going to get worse with their restrictions. And by the way, there's already much more millions that needs to be spent, Bob and Robbie, to upgrade the security at the airports, which
of course. What do you think? What do you think the whole thing's about?
That's exactly.
I mean,
right.
Look. Unfortunately, the terrorism industrial complex is as large as the military industrial complex. And so to keep it going, to feed the beast on a consistent basis, you've got to have these false flag operations in order to drain what little capital is left in Washington, D.C. to fund these stupid endeavors. Well, it's amazing people still buy into it, but anyway. Oh, for the quiet life of an African bushveld.
We'll take the break. Waiting for your phone calls here, 800-313-9443. Let's avoid the Christmas rush to the final show of this decade, folks. The National Intel Report with Bob Chapman and Robbie Noel.
Get ready for Real Talk Radio. You're listening to the National Intel Report with your host, John Stadtmiller.
Oh! Yeah, excuse me, gentlemen. I just had to kill the crotch bomber here in the studio. We're okay now. Let's go to the phones. Jasper in Boston. Hello, Jasper.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hi.
How are you all?
Ducky. What's on your mind?
Not much. What did you think of The Duelists?
Probably one of the best roles that Harvey Keitel played. He seemed to be out of his element, but he did a fairly good job.
Good. Well, glad you liked it.
Yeah. I didn't even know. I didn't even know that the one Carradine brother. He was the least famous, I think, of all of them. But he did a pretty good job. It was an interesting movie. I had never seen that before.
It's made me think about dueling very hard ever since.
Well, they could never figure out what their problem was, but they knew they had one thing going, and that was an absolute hate and animosity toward each other. How many years did that drag out? 20 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it was all about, the righteous fellows, his maneuvering through this psychic world of psychic battles, basically, and just always maintaining this moral high ground of being, the one who was instigated on.
Well, for the benefit of those that have not seen the movie, anything else on your mind, Jasper?
Yes.
Yes.
I've talked to Bob about this. Hi, Bob.
Hi.
Before, and you were bringing up trying to bring more people into the fold and how to make that space that can be inviting to people who are on the fence about coming forward with important information and are really looking for that spot where they're supposed to enter, where they feel like they're supposed to come in with it. And, well, Bob and I were talking about